Hey y'all, hey! I'm Ashley, and this is For Dizzy Birds. And it's time to make some more progress towards our overall 2025 goals and our goals for the month of January. In today's video, we are going to be tracking our no spend for January. We're going to be saving towards our emergency fund. We'll be working on our 2025 challenges, and we will be introducing a brand new binder, which is our month ahead binder, where we're going to start working towards getting a month ahead on our household bills. So if you'd like to see what kind of progress we make today, go ahead and stick around. Hey y'all, happy Saturday. Well, it's Saturday for me. Hopefully I'll have this posted as well on Saturday. So if you're watching, happy Saturday. I hope your weekend is starting off right. I do have a 3-day weekend. My kiddos have a 3-day weekend. So we're looking forward to a nice long weekend. But before I get to all the fun weekend plans, like cleaning house and relaxing and hopefully doing a little bit of reading, of course, our first order of business is to take care of our challenges, our savings, our adulting things, if you will. So this week we're going to do the videos just a little bit differently than last week. We're going to be adding a third video series in. So the way I've decided to organize this is we're going to do the first video each week will be kind of, taking care of business, right? It's the taking care of business stuff. I still think it's fun, but the adulting type stuff. So we're going to track our no spend. In this video, we will also be, going to our OPOOP or emergency fund, and then we will make some progress towards the 2025 goals that we have, the 2025 trackers, the challenges that we have. And then I'm going to introduce a whole new binder, which is our brand new month ahead binder. So lots to do in today's video. And then we'll have 2 other videos posted later where we will do our normal weekly challenges of the things we're doing with our monster calendar, and then of course our minis and tinies. So all of that will still happen. We're going to do a total of 3 videos this week. So I hope you're able to join us for all of those. Let's go ahead and get started with this one. So up first is tracking our no spend. So if you're new to the channel or you're new to this type of budgeting, a no spend refers to days that you don't do any unbudgeted or unplanned spending. So for instance, I go and I buy groceries that were budgeted for. That does not count against my no spend. But if I decide to stop at Starbucks and get a coffee that is not budgeted for, I don't have the money in the envelope, it comes out of, kind of like an unexpected expenditure, then that would be a spend day. If I stop and I get food, eating out when I had not budgeted or planned to do so, that would be a spend. So, how are we successful on a no spend? We're successful, or at least I am successful on a no spend by making sure that I work very hard to think ahead to the week coming and the weeks after, that I'm paying very, very close attention to my budget and making sure that I am not forgetting things that are going to be happening. An example would be, say, you have a lunch planned with your work colleagues and you don't budget that, right? Like, but you had it on the calendar, you just forgot they were doing it. So it comes around, it's Wednesday, it's time to go to that lunch, and I've now have to spend money on eating out that I had not budgeted. So to avoid that, I try really hard to pay close attention to my calendar and the events that are coming and bills that are coming and things that might otherwise be a surprise. So that's, number one for being successful on a no spend. And a second to that, a lot of the times the unplanned spending comes from food expenses for us. So being very intentional about food prep, meal planning, and making sure that we have a plan for meals throughout the week. And in a lot of cases, even make them in advance so we don't have that temptation to stop and eat out. So far for January, so we're starting this for the year of 2025. So far for January, we have only had one spend day. That was on the first day of the year. We did eat out. Since then, so far through the 10th, we have had no spend days. So we've been doing really, really good. I'm proud of us. And this goes for me and my husband, not just me. My husband is also participating in the no spend, so he's doing his part as well. But let's talk about what we've done since I saw you last. So we last filled in the 10th. We have successfully completed the 11th, the 12th, the 13th, the 14th, the 15th, the 16th, the 17th as no spend days. Now, today is the 18th. I don't have any plans to make any purchases, but in the spirit of being completely fair and transparent, I don't like to fill those in until I am sure that we don't make any unplanned purchases. So you can't uncolor something once it's colored, right? So we will color through the 17th, even though we plan to make no purchases today on the 18th. But so far, so good. We're actually really super proud of our accomplishments so far. It is really easy to convince yourself you need something when you don't, or that you need it right now when you can wait. And, you know, so when you're able to curb that over time, it kind of starts to build the habit. It starts to make you more aware of your impulse purchases. Um, and why do you want to do a no spend? Why would you want to do a no spend? Other than obviously like we're saving money, right? We are. So money that I might have spent on eating out is not getting spent. And staying in the bank account in our savings where we want it to be. It's not getting allocated out to other things. We're able to save it for, upcoming expenses or debt. So that's great. But like I said, it also kind of helps you to change your mindset over time and doesn't happen right away, but it helps to change your mindset where we have the habit to make an impulse purchase and not think too much about it, right? Especially in small amounts. Small amounts here and there add up, but when we're making those decisions in the moment, we're often less likely to think about the impact over a larger amount of time or how all those little things add up. So when you make an intentional decision not to purchase something over and over again, the same habit gets developed and you are less likely to make impulse purchases. Are we going to be perfect? Are we going to make it throughout the whole year and never make an unbudgeted purchase? Absolutely not. I can promise you that is not it's not a reality for us. But we can start by having a day at a time approach to this, a month at a time, however it works for you, and then see your habits kind of improve over time. So that's our no spend. We are doing very well. I'm very proud of all the colors that are getting colored in. We will see next week how many of these we get, and then at the end of the month we'll see how many that we have fully colored in. And we are actively doing a no spend January, so hopefully we get to color in the rest of the boxes. But you guys will just have to wait to see. All right, so that is taken care of. Yay us. Let's talk about what we have for savings this week. So again, these activities will be spread out over 3 videos, but I wanted to give you an overarching view of from our income this week what we are setting aside for savings. So we're going to be putting $30 towards our emergency fund like we do every week. We're going to be starting this new binder for a month ahead, and the amount we're setting aside for that each week is going to be $42. We're going to have about $100 for our Rainbow Challenge binder, about $78 for our 2025 challenges. And then for our minis and tinies, we're going to have $60 and $30. So we're actually getting to put aside a total of $340 total into savings this week, which is something to be very grateful for. So that is what you will see throughout the week in our videos. I will have that there to keep track of. So let's go ahead and get started with our emergency fund. And if you've been watching, you know we are using our Poop tracker here. This is in my shop if you're interested in it as a digital download. So you can get that as your yourself. We've already completed one, which put us at $855, $15 per icon. So we cleared that one out. That money is still sitting in the emergency fund. And then we are moving towards filling in a second sheet. This time we're going to make the icons $30 per. So unless we are able to up the amount we can save each week, which you're not currently doing, we'll be filling this out a little bit slower, but Small steps and slow steps in the right direction are still steps in the right direction. So for $30 going in today, we're going to be coloring in One Little Friend. And then we will count to see where we are overall. You may remember that our goal for 2025 is to get our emergency fund to $2,000. We are very, very close to 1,000 right now, which if you follow Dave Ramsey, and which we do to some extent, you would know that he recommends that you have $1,000 emergency fund in the bank before you really focus on debts and everything else. So we are following his suggestions to a certain point. We're not following it 100%, but one of the things we are working on is making sure that we have at least that $1,000 in the emergency fund. So we're very, very close to that, and we'll find out just how close here in just a minute. And once we hit that 1,000, we're going to continue making slow progress towards adding to our emergency fund, but we are going to shift our focus to the debt. The debt becomes the number one priority, and that $1,000 will sit in our emergency fund there in case we need it. So, all right, let's take a look. We have our OPOOP $30 here. We can get into our binder and open up the envelope. So you notice we're using prop dollars. So these prop dollars actually represent money that is in my high yield savings account. So if it's in this envelope, it's in the bank account. So let's see how much we have in our emergency fund account right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 900, 920, 940, 960, 970, 975. All right, y'all. So we are at 975 out of our initial 1,000 goal. So as I said, we're getting very close. And in fact, that means as long as we're able to put our $30 next week, we will hit our $1,000 goal and actually bypass it. So we will hopefully, and I don't see any reason why we won't be doing that next week. So yay us. All right. So we're taking care of our emergency fund. Now let's go to our 2025 challenges. Now we have a couple. Well, we have 3 actually. You may remember we have these 2 here. This is Save 225 and 2025. And then we have 2025 and 2025. These both come from the Almost Organized Owl. We have earmarked this smaller one for emergency fund. So when we fill that one in, we'll be able to transfer that over to the emergency fund. We have not assigned out a goal for this one yet, but we will. And then we also have our 2025 challenge from Save with Judy, which we are going to be saving $5 an icon and $25 a month. That comes to $300, which is very close to what our HOA fee is every year. So we're going to use that towards our 2026 HOA. So we'll save this throughout the year, and then have our HOA pretty much funded by the time we finish out the year. So let's go ahead and pull out the money that I have set aside. So for 2025, all 3, we have a total of $78 to put towards them. So we're going to start with this one because we're going to make sure we take that $5 here and fill in our icon for this week, because we definitely want to do them. The rest of the money will go towards the 2025s from Nita. All right, so I'm going to color this one in really quick. The adorable little snow beanies. So how was y'all's week? I hope you're had a good week and are having a nice weekend. It's weird weather as always here. We have like in 50s and 60s today. It was freezing earlier in the week, and now it's warmish, and then here in the next few days it's going to go back down to very, very cold. So but I hope you guys had a good week. Let's see how much we have in here so far. All right, so this is lining up. We should have $20. We have exactly that. $20 gets us started towards our 2025 goal with Save with Judy. Now, we will have, how much do we have left? We have 50, 70, 71, 72, 73. So last time I noticed that I was doing this really in a silly way. So we're going to make a little more sense here. We're going to take our $73 and we're going to put it on the calculator because this $73 is going into the same envelope no matter which challenge it goes into. We're going to start with the large one because the numbers are bigger. We're going to roll our 6-sided dice here. We're going to see which section. So section 2. So we're going to get to scratch 1 here in, we'll call this the spring section. And this is where we do the large one first. $25 going into this one today. Let's subtract out 25. All right, so we still have 48. Let's go ahead and go one more time for this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're hitting our fall scratch offs. We'll start up here. 16. So this one's spicy. This one's spicy. These scratch offs, you don't know what's under here. Again, this was a digital download, so I did print it out, but then I put the stickers on. But I certainly do not remember. So we have $32 left. Let's go ahead and do one more. Oh, we're back to 2. Let's see how spicy this is going to be for us. Hopefully it's not more than $32. It's 10. We're going to call that good for the larger one. We will subtract that out of our total. We didn't even have to color anything this time. So we are down to $22 total left over for these 2 challenges. So let's go ahead and go to the other one and roll our dice again. So it's very similar. It's just the numbers are much smaller. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're getting to do a lot of scratching today. So we have 4. I can't stand it if it's not totally scratched. Are you guys the same? All right, let's go one more time. 2, another. Oh, we're going to get to finish out the scratcher on this one. We are having a lucky scratch day. Another 4. So if we get another 2, we'll just pick something else. Will be roller's choice. All right. 4, another scratch. Wow. Scratch happy. All right. 5. And we are down to $9. Let's roll one more time because I don't think we have many numbers that are going to be higher than that. So we should be pretty good. And we get to scratch again. Never got to scratch this many times. All right. So 4. So we now have $5. Let's just roll one more time. 6. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have $5. Let's go ahead and just color in $5 worth of icons here. And using our spring colors, I'm going to clean up our mess, our scratchy mess. All right. And so in order to color in $5 total, we're going to do 2 2s and a 1. And we're doing all the spring colors in this column and so on and so forth. All right, so we're making good progress on all 3 of our 2025 challenges. Now we can put these away and put our money into the one envelope here. So basically we're going to keep all of the money for both challenges in here. And then once we have the smaller one finished, we'll just pull that 225 out and we will know that rest goes to what am I doing with my money? I am very disorganized, which is very unlike me here. All right, we'll try this. Let's see how much we've saved so far in these two challenges. 100, 150, 170, 190, 210, 230, 235, 36, 37, and 38. So we've saved 238 so far towards these. All right, so we have finished that up there. All right, now we've taken care of all of our normal business for this video. Now I get to introduce the new month ahead binder. So let's talk about this. So as you may remember, one of our 2025 goals overall is to get 1 month ahead on household bills. Now, I've been watching some really talented creators do some really creative things for this, and so I've just been watching and kind of trying to decide how I wanted to tackle this, what format would work best for me. And so this one, I believe, was Steph's on a budget. I should have written it down when I saw it. I didn't think to do that. So if I'm wrong, feel free to let me know down in the comments. But if it is Steph's on a budget, he does it like this. But several creators have a month ahead binder. And basically the idea is that you have a way to systematically and consistently put money towards your month ahead on bills. So I created this binder here for our month ahead situation. So what this is 14 different categories that all are household bills, things that come due every month without fail, right? And are pretty set as far as the cost, right? In fact, I think all of these are generally the same or can be averaged out throughout the year. So what do we have in here? We have our home security system, and it is about $60 a month. And it's actually a little less, but we're rounding up because, inflation and you never know what's going to happen with those bills. We have our gas bill, which is averages out for the year to be about $80. Lawn care, which is when they come and they take care of the weeds and all of that. That happens more during the spring, but we're just going to go ahead and budget it out for monthly so that we can start building that up. Internet, about $100. Pest control, about $100. City of OKC, which is where we live. This is our trash and water, about $160. Our electricity bill, about $180. Subscriptions, now we're rounding up a little bit on this. This number really needs to come down. But we have cut it as far back as we feel comfortable doing at this. So this is Disney Plus, this is Netflix, this is, all of those streaming services, Apple, those kinds of things that are monthly. They're not needs, but they are pretty solidly in our routine. So we're sitting at a budget of around $200, though that is not currently what we are spending on subscriptions. We want to just get to the point where we have that. We have a storage unit for our camper, which costs us $200 a month. Our cell phones, we have several lines and several members of our outside of our immediate household that are on this. The bill for that is $240 a month. And then the last ones back here are our current payments on our vehicles. So my husband's is about $300. Then we have our insurance, which fits under our camper insurance and our car insurance. And then this is my vehicle payment of, unfortunately, $540 a month. And then we have our camper, which is a payment of $640 a month. So those are the 14 categories that we are working towards getting a month ahead. You'll notice our mortgage is not here. It is would be back here. It is the largest number of all. But right now with our debt and everything else that we have prioritized, decided to leave that out of the month ahead for now. We can always add it in later if we get to a point where we can start saving towards that. So one other thing to note is the way we're going to do this is the numbers are arranged from smallest to largest. So we got $60 for our first, 80, 100, all the way up to 640. And the reason why we're doing this way is because, and again, I think it was Steph's on a budget. She was doing sort of a snowball approach to this month ahead binder. And so, similar to how you will do a debt snowball to pay off your debt, basically you take your amounts and you put a small amount towards each one. And then once this one is full, you will take the amount that you were putting in here and stop filling this one and put extra towards this one, and so on and so forth. So, for instance, this one is $3 per icon to and once we have all of these icons colored in, we have our $60. So each week, starting today, we will put $3 in each envelope, no matter what. And once this envelope is full, we will stop putting $3 in this one, add that $3 to this one, so this one will start getting 6. The rest will continue getting 3. When this is full, we will take that 6 and add it to here. This one will start getting 9. The rest will get 3. It'll make sense if it's not right now. It'll make sense as we get going. This is a slow progress. This is not something we are going to accomplish quickly. It is not at the top of our goal list. Remember, our debt and our emergency fund is higher up on our goal list. So while we want to make progress towards this, we are not doing this quickly. We are just getting started. So all we're going to be doing is putting $3 per envelope each week towards this. We will color in icons when we have enough to color in an icon, and we will just do that every week. So it'll be pretty easy peasy. Now, for instance, home security here, each icon is $3, so we will actually be coloring in an icon for every week, as long as we have that $3 to put in. So we're going to color in our heart here as we put this one in, but I have a feeling that's going to be the only one we get to color in this week. So $3 going to home security. So if you think about this, this is 20 icons. That means 20 weeks before we've filled this. So again, not a fast process, but small steps in the right direction are still steps in the right direction. Okay, so whether we get to color in an icon. So each one of these, in order to make this worth 80, means each icon is 4 on this. So if we're only putting $3 towards this each week, we won't be able to color in an icon till next week. So that is how that goes. We're going to put $3 towards natural gas. We're going to put $3 towards lawn care. I used to try to not pay someone to just not mowing. We still mow. We have a very small yard, so we don't pay someone to do that. This is the weeds and just kind of keeping the grass healthy. We have an HOA. We have rules about how pretty our grass is, which don't get me started on the rules. But so we do have to make sure that our grass is a certain quality, visual quality, if you will. So I did try to do it without paying someone and it just wasn't working. So we have to just budget. Okay, internet, $3 going into that. Pest control, well, that goes without saying. We got to have that. We got lots of buggies. $3 going in there. City of OKC, again, that's water and trash. $3 going in there. Electricity averages out to about 180 or just a little under currently. Subscriptions, our goal is 200 to be a month ahead on this one. Each icon is 10 on this. It'll be a few weeks before we get the color one in. Storage, $3 towards that. Cell phones, 240 is overall goal, $3 towards that. So what happens when we're a month ahead? What does that mean? Well, it just means that we have the amount of money it takes to pay our bills for 1 month sitting in savings. You could look at it as an additional emergency fund, just a little bit more, sitting there in case something happens. If you can't work, you have an accident, something like that, we know that our immediate bills are taken care of. Would I like to have our mortgage included in this? Absolutely. Absolutely would love to have a month ahead on our mortgage, if not further. Ultimate life goal is to have 6 months worth of full expenses in our savings. That is like future goal, future us. Um, but this is where you start. You start somewhere small, right? Okay, so we have put our $3 in, which again, for 14 categories is a total of $42 a week. So we're just going to start budgeting that $42 a week every week without fail to go towards this. All right, so that's our new month ahead binder. We've done our 2025s for the week. We did our emergency fund and we tracked our no spend. We are doing fantastic for the third week of January. I hope you enjoyed the video. That's all I'm going to put in this one, just so that it is not too long. And then in our next video, we will be doing our rainbow calendar challenges, our calendar box. And so be sure to look for that video when it's posted. And if you liked what you saw, give it a like and a comment. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel. We are getting very close to 300 subscribers. And when we do, I will definitely be releasing a 300 subscriber freebie. I'm excited to see that, and I have some great ideas to share with you there. So I'll just say that's it for now. Until next time, y'all hang in there. Bye.